Good morning. Good morning. Buenos dias. Bonjour. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. It's kind of rainy in Vancouver today, but got me thinking about the last video I did. I was talking about fear and how it's injected into the world today. Something I was thinking about is like if we can understand the present, we kind of have to look at the past to see where things have come from and how fear moved things before the pandemic. And I want to talk about this just to associate, just to plant a seed so you can kind of see how things move throughout the world. Because I understand very well how fear is used as a tool of control, but I want to show you because I don't watch TV. I'm rarely on social media. To be honest with you, it's difficult for me to even do this, but I have to because I have something I want to share and I got to do it. So I should be better at it, but it's so difficult for me to get lost in this world. You know, but either way, I want to show how the heavy onslaught of social media and detrimental things that you take into your psyche can affect the way you think, and your thought process is absolutely everything, which is why fear is the most important tool for control that the governments use. And I'll say governments because, we live in a world that is run by money. That's a fact, right? I mean, can we all agree that the pandemic is making rich people disgustingly wealthy? It is. So if we follow the money and we understand that, if we understand that corporations are running the world and we understand that money is the most important thing in the world, people are worshiping it over people. They value money over people, then we have to look at that for what it is. That's a reality. If we can come to an agreement on that, then the next step is to look at that and to follow the money, because that's how we get to the truth, right? So if corporations are running the world, we know that media is owned by corporations. So they do what's best for business, not what's best for people. So keeping your attention on that television or social media or wherever they want it, they will do at any cost to anything, to the human. So they don't care about your well-being. Absolutely not. They don't care about your freedoms. They don't care about that. They will play with your mind and play with all of that. And part of this that I wanted to talk about, to look back in the past so we can understand the present, is before the pandemic, what were the biggest fears going on the television? Well, ISIS. We had ISIS and we had all these Middle Eastern problems. What fascinates me is that terrorists are afraid of COVID. I mean, seriously, think about that for a second. When's the last time you heard about a man running into a hospital and blowing up a school or a hospital with a bomb on him and killing a bunch of innocent? Yeah, I heard about, there's some small things going on around here and there, but hardly to the degree that it was for many, 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 many years. I mean, to think of what went on in the Middle East when Bush was in office, and to think about where we are today, what they eradicated it, they fixed everything. Soldiers were just there, 6 months before COVID happened. Now everything's fine, everything's calm, quiet, or we just have a bigger problem at hand. I don't think so. I think what they show you on the television is the most detrimental thing to your psyche. So with COVID, they can run it every single day. They can give you false truths. They can give you things that are good for business, not good for the people. We know that they lie. We know that the TV lies. Yet we still take everything it says as face value because it's affecting our freedom this time. It's not just happening. Something's not just happening in part of another part of the world that we just are distant from. It's now happening everywhere. But to think that all of a sudden all the terrorist problems that were going on in the world are just all of a sudden over. Or maybe they're just not showing it. I'm not buying either one. What I'm trying to say is, if you have to look at this kind of stuff as what has been going on, there's always been a steady flow of fear. And you have to question why. I mean, why? Why is the news, why is the TV constantly about negativity? Constant, if things were good for the people, they would show you, positive pieces. It would be yoga and meditation. It would be look inside, not outside. It would be don't judge. It would be do the things you love and let's explore that together. But it's not like that. It's constant killings and fear for the human. So we have to seriously understand that, and I want people to understand that. I want people to grasp that fact that fear is a tool of control, and that's what's happening right now. So if we look at what's going on with the TV with these numbers, it's a joke. It's a joke. This big number that they put up on the TV is a number of cases. They don't talk about how many recover because it's a big, long process. So to arrive at that number and to arrive at that conclusion to give you that answer, well, that's going to take 9 months. And by that time, we've put so much fear and we put so much false realities into your mind that you're confused and you're scared. And you're scared that you're never going to get where you're going, like your freedom's back, where you're going. Let's talk about this passport, vaccinated passports. Bullshit. It's absolute bullshit. If everyone is rushing out to get this vaccine to fly, look at the vaccine cards they give you. There's no number on it. There's no catalog or it's a business card with the name of the vaccine you took, and they handwrite your name in it with the date on it and where you took it. That's it. How are you going to associate that card to a passport at some point? There's no reference, there's no log, there's no information. It's a joke. They've shut the entire world down so that everyone can get vaccinated, yet they don't log any of the information. You know what I mean? This is something you got to think about. Is like, and on some of the vaccine cards, there's 4 spaces on there. You know, so they're talking about 2 right now. You go run out and get 2 vaccines right now. There's room for 2 more. So that should tell you that this is a setup for something that's going to be ongoing, because it fits a certain design that's happening. You know, there's much more going on here. People are making money on this, and business is good. Small business is losing like crazy. So we need to have these conversations, I think, before we rush out and trust an entity that does not have our best interests at hand. And that entity is the government. People are listening. I don't know what province you're in, but in British Columbia, we have Bonnie Henry, this public health official. This entire province takes what one individual says as law. One doctor who's paid by the government. She's on government salary. So again, whatever's good for business, she will say. Not what's good for the people. And that human, that Bonnie Henry, she's disgusting human. A disgusting human. Because she has valued money over people. She's taken the payout, and she'll tell the people whatever the government wants them to tell. That's bullshit. That woman's in a lot of trouble wherever she's going, because she has to answer for that, because you can't hurt humans that way, but she does, because they value money, because they live just in this physical time, which is just nuts to me. It's because I value people over money. I really do. So think about that. Like, are you really adopting all of these truths from an entity that lies to you? And then if you're in Ontario, Doug Ford's the one telling everyone what to do. Like, Doug Ford? This is a man who paid actors to come to his election so that it would look like more people were actually running with him with the things he said, because nobody really did think he was fit for the job, but somehow he got in. And now he's completely crippled by fear, and he values money over people. So, you know, think about the people that are actually delivering you some sort of truths to get your freedoms back. This is a joke. Remember, flatten the curve in the first 3-4 months of this pandemic? Let's just flatten the curve. Now we're a year and a half in. It's not stopping. Like, we're practicing this. We're practicing fear. This is what we're doing. Out here in Vancouver, people will cross the street to go around me, to think that we're avoiding humans. We're afraid of humans. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. I can sympathize to however anyone is feeling about this pandemic, but follow the truths. The politicians aren't taking the vaccine. Do you know that? It's public knowledge. There's people have asked them, right? To their face. Go on YouTube. Do some homework. Do you know what's in the vaccine? That's something you should be afraid of. 10% copper, 10% aluminum, DNA from animals we've never used before. In 6 months, they're infecting the entire world with something that we've no idea what it's going to do. They group humans into one group. We're individuals. That drug is going to react in many, 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 many different ways. And they're talking about giving it to 12-year-olds now? If you're a parent, protect your children. Don't be putting shit in their arm that you don't know what it's going to do. They don't even know what it's going to do. But we're going to find out, maybe in your children. Hope to God mine ain't doing it. My baby mamas ain't listening to this. I know that. But, geez, if you do, please don't do that. You know, like, that's insane. Question things. Whatever happened to, why are we so obedient to an entity that doesn't care about us? Their buddies are the ones who are getting rich off this because they fund the campaigns, and we're the ones that suffer, and we're going to continue to suffer. So if you value people over money, and you don't like the current way things are going, and you don't like how things are unfolding, and you're tired of buying the fear that comes out of social media, like, hit me up. Let's have a conversation, because we need to build something. Because I'm certainly not going down like this. I think it's a joke. I will not accept truths just to try and obtain some sort of freedom that I'm never going to get back. This is the new normal, you know? Year and a half practicing. And they're saying, oh, another year. Flatten the curve. That was 3 months in. We're a year and a half. Look at that. Like this is a reality. Everyone's saying, oh, just if everyone gets vaccinated, it'll go back to normal. Well, first off, there's no record of who's getting vaccinated. We have little cards with names on it. That's it. It's a joke. It's a joke. They want everybody to rush out and put this shit in their arm, and then we're going to see what happens. Don't do that. Don't alleviate all the fears before we question things. Remember, it's the government. Look at the governments in the rest of the world. I realize in Canada we have a little bit more freedom than other countries, but let's look at things for what they are. We pay high taxes. You work 6-7 days a week. Housing market's out of control. The groceries are through the roof, and now frickin' wood and oil are on a supply and demand sort of basis, which out here we're $1.60 for a liter of fuel. Water's $2 a liter. Butter's $9 in Vancouver. Butter is $9. Like, that's just to give you some sort of balance as to where we are with groceries. Food is the new oil. So that'll be the next direction that they, what's it'll be sustainability and climate control or some crap. I don't know, but it's about money, right? So they're going to bleed this thing out. So question things, please, before you run out and accept this truth from people who lie and love money. It's reality. All those things that they were poisoning your mind with before, all that fear is just gone. You know what I mean? All these terrorists, all this, it should just, is why I talk about that is because it's a joke, first off, but people forget it because they're on to the next thing. Your mind is so clouded. You need time away from this stuff, Again, with the COVID numbers on the screen, they're not giving you facts. They've been caught, diagnosing or putting car accident victims and cancer patients because hospitals are funded by the government. So what's good for business, they'll do, not good for the people. And you can't think that there's not you can't tell me, oh, this conspiracy theory. Yesterday's conspiracy theory is today's reality. That's a fact. That's just a fact. All the information's there. You just have to really want to look for it. But I get it. I mean, when we're talking about freedoms, we can make excuses for things where we don't want to accept certain truths. I get it. But we're at a time right now where you better. And if from my generation, and I know you have a little rebellion left in you, start remembering what it means. Find that inner child. Don't let that shit be broken, please. Listen to the inner child. Listen to what's right inside of you. Quit trying to think that you're going to get some life back, that we're going to pay even more in taxes, groceries. We're reliant on a system that doesn't care about us. Let's break free from that. Seriously, somebody needs to have this conversation. And I know what I'm going to do. I'm be a part of changing the world, for sure. I am not one to accept this, and I will not. Because I value people over money. So anybody who can say whatever they want about the videos and things like that, but at the end of the day, I care about society as a whole. I don't care about a monetary value. I don't care about a status by a bank account. That's not important to me. What's inside is priceless. So if you're a human being, a part of the human race, well, then you're family to me. You know what I mean? And if you care about humans more than you do money, and you're sick and tired of this way of life, of being divided, sad, and lonely, and scared all the time, then let's have a conversation. And let's do something to change it. Because I think it's time, to be honest with you. I really think it's time. And there's a shift happening, so join us, really. It's all peace and love. Don't get me wrong. It's no violence. There's nothing like that. It's just peace and love, But many voices makes for a louder discussion, which is much nicer. I hope you have a wonderful day. Last video I'm going to do about fear. Next is all love and light, because I feel like that's what I'm about. But I had to have this conversation because it's really just getting to me that everyone's rushing around doing things without questioning anything. I don't know why we don't question things with things we don't trust, you know? Remember that. It's your body, your choice, do your thing, but remember it's your body. Check that. It's all you got, right? Have a wonderful day. I love everybody. I'm all about love. I'm all about light, but I had to have this conversation. I really did, because I really care about people, and I want you to think.